It's R2, so you can't argue with it.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim, Phil Potts, and oh, how amazing you'll be.
Oh, my microphone was off. Good morning, everyone. It's been a while since I've streamed. So, hey, everyone, welcome. How's everyone doing? In the chat window, a few of you on there. Good to see. Yeah, I'm streaming today on a Thursday because I'm going to be traveling tomorrow. But I figured, I've missed a couple of streams, so I really wanted to get one in. So hi everyone. Hi R2. Hi Sam. Lewis. Capital Twitch. Lachlan Gordon. Of course, R2AU. Did I mention R2AU?
It's R2, so you can't argue with it.
Marin DVD. Rock Lane, hi. Welcome. All right, so it's a Thursday. It's not a Friday. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can do great things. Okay, so what were we working on last time? We were working on this little puppy here. So let's look at this in a little bit more detail. So this here, let me have a look at what we're working on. This dribble shot. So this is by Outcrowd. And it was actually a dribble design that somebody sent in order to see if we can reproduce it. And it's actually really complex, as it turns out. So let's have a look at a video of it here and just and see what this design is all about. Okay, so lots of stuff going on, lots of sort of flow layouts, lots of animations happening between various elements inside of here. A few different overlays going on. Oops, and my windows sort of expanded out there. So actually quite a bit happening in this design. We spent a stream or two on this a little while ago. Let's sort of see if we can work out where we're up to. And I haven't done any Xamarin work for a while, and I updated my Visual Studio. So let's see how this goes. Could be good, could be bad. Let's see if we've got a design here. Here we are. We've got a design. Let's have a look at this on Android and see what we have. I actually don't even have my Mac plugged in. I've been so chaotic recently with all the renovations and things like that happening.
We're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim. Kim, Phil, Potts, and oh, how amazing you'll be.
Code Monkey Dave, welcome and thanks for the follow. So we're just covering off where we're up to and what we've been doing so far. So this is what we have so far. We have the screen looking pretty much about right. As we sort of scroll this up, it hides the search up the top. That's pretty cool. And as we sort of scroll around, we've got some different sized elements in here. So this is all done with a flow layout. But yeah, as we sort of go between those different states there. And I think where we got to last time is we were just starting to play around with what happens when we select one of these elements and expand it out. And so probably we're going to have a look at this details page that has to happen here. So let's see what we have. Okay, so just as a recap, mostly for myself, let me see if I can remember how we worked on this, because I haven't worked on it for a few weeks. We've got ourselves a main page. And I might just sort of zoom that in there a little bit and get this emulator out of the way. So we've got a view model. We've got a main view model sitting behind here. We've got some resource dictionaries. We've got a converter here, which is working out how big things should be. We've got some styles in here as well. So that's all very, very nice. We're using an absolute layout in order to do this because we need a lot of control over basically where things are going to go. And I think my hot reload has failed me here. Okay. And the way that we're doing this bit here. Alareza, hi. Welcome. So what we're doing, the way we're doing this sort of, this here is actually pretty simple. What we've done is down the bottom of our page, we have this sort of, this fake product cell. Okay, so the fake product cell is actually the one when we click on one of these elements, basically goes and overlays in exactly the same location as this one, for example, and then expands out. Comes out and then expands out. Now, obviously, we've got to do something with this this bit of moss. Who knew that Irish moss was a thing, or Icelandic moss, I should say. All right, so what we need to do is we need that getting to actually go and display. If we come back here and have a look at when he selects on one of these elements here, it's got to go up and it's got to stay in the middle here. Now, the challenge that I'm going to have here, I miss you too, Alareza. I've really missed streaming. That's why I wanted to get one done today before I head off tomorrow. Okay, so so clearly what we have to do is we have to get this bit of moss here to go up to the middle of the page. Okay, and kind of what I'm doing at the moment, if we actually have a look at the tap gesture recognizer behind this, with such an uncool name there. Actually, when we click on a cell here, this is what we're doing. When we click on a cell here, what we're doing is we're getting the binding context for the selected element. We're copying that across. We're making our fake cell visible. We're positioning it exactly over the element. And then what we're doing is we're calling this method called expand to fill on our fake product cell, which then goes and does some sort of little animation, so it works out where it needs to be, fades out a few elements, and then does our layout to the place that we want to be. So it does two animations here. Actually, it does one animation, which sort of brings it to the center in the middle, and then we expand it out. So that's what these two are, and they've got an await inside of them. So it finishes this first one first, and then it does the second one. Beautiful. So the first thing I want to have a look at is how we're going to get this sort of sitting in the middle here. So that's going to be our first challenge. Simorp, welcome and hello. All right, so there's sort of a number of ways that we could do this. So just got to kind of think of the best way. So as always with these streams, if you've got any ideas, as we go through, or you see me write some crap code, which is quite possible. In fact, it's very likely. Just let me know. Okay. So that's our expand to fill. Let's have a look at what this is. This is actually our product display. This is a control that we have. Okay, so here we are. We're using a pancake view for our background color. It's got the hero color that it binds to. It's inside of a grid. We've got the box view for the background. We've got a button. We've got a little bit of information about the name of the product. And then we've got a stack layout, which is, let me just launch this back up again here. We've got our stack layout, which is showing our price label here. And we've got our image. So our image at the moment is basically being translated inside of this control. All right, so let's fix that first of all. And what I'm thinking here is I'm thinking that instead of, let me run this. Instead of actually having this control or this image sort of aligned to the bottom right, because as you can see when I, oops, it's about to launch. I just interrupted it. When it expands out, of course, it goes to the bottom right corner, which is not what we want. Okay, so that's not what we're after. So maybe what we want to do is we want to put this horizontally in the center. Is it going to work? Okay, horizontally in the center. Don't give it any translation for the moment. And we might want to translate it from the top. So let's say we go, well, actually, no, let's get rid of that translation there. And let's just say vertical options. We'll make it start so that they're all going to appear in the wrong place here. But hopefully they're going to appear in kind of the right place there. All right. So, so the key thing, or the first thing that we're going to have a look at then is how we're going to position it in that normal grid. So what I'm thinking is we could, let me spin this up again. I'll just get it out of the way here for a moment. What we could do is the way that we control the size of these elements. Just wait for this to spin up here. The way that we control the size of these elements, right? Because we have some different sized elements in here. We have got the small ones and we've got the big ones. So whether they're featured or not, that comes from our view model. So in our view model, in our product view model, we have this is featured. And in our main page, what we have is we've got a converter which says, hey, depending on whether this is featured, I either want it to be 170 or 240. And so down here in my flex layout, in my data template, we've got this height request, which is saying, okay, go and have a look at that is featured, use that converter to then work out how big it should be. So what if we were to do something kind of similar and actually set the translation of that image based on whether it's featured or not, so that for featured elements, it's going to appear down here, and a slightly different value for non-featured elements. So that's kind of the idea. Now, I think in order to do that, I'm going to have to probably create myself, well, I'll probably use a converter again in order to do that. So let's play around with that a little bit. Let's create ourselves a converter for both the sort of, where it's positioned. Like we could probably do this in our product display. Now let's do it. Let's do it up here. So what would happen if we created a converter and we said featured offset Y, and then we have a different value for whether it is featured or not featured. So maybe we'll just throw some numbers in here first of all. And then maybe we'll also have a, whoops, hang on a second. What's going on here? What's going on here? What are you doing, Visual Studio? Hang on a second. Visual Studio, why are you causing me pain? I don't know what it's doing. All right, cool. It's back. It's back. Okay, cool. So let's have a featured offset converter. Let's also have a featured offset X converter, which is probably going to have the same value for them. So I think, let's have a look. Let's throw some values in here. And then unsupported edits. Who knows what that's doing? Okay. And maybe if we have say a bindable property or something like that we put onto this product display, we could then go and set this the same as we're setting the height request here. I don't know if this is a good strategy, but we'll try it. Okay, who remembers how to do bindable properties? Anyone? I'm not sure I do. All right. You know, Lewis? Let's have a look. Let's see how we go. I might have to look up some docs here. So I think what we do is we'll have a public static. I better stop this. Read only, bindable property. We'll call this our image offset Y property. And we say bindable property. Oh, if you've got a gist, Lewis, yeah, throw it out. Because I'm sure I'll get this wrong. I don't write enough bindable properties anymore. So bindable property got create. What do we got? We got like 1 billion parameters here. So let's say we want image offset Y, which is going to be a type of int. The declaring type is going to be type of product display. Look, a gist. Okay, cool. So, nice one. Create. Yep. Type of. Beautiful. True. And then our property, and we have a getter and a setter. All right. That's cool. So we need ourselves a property. Thanks for that, Gist. What else have we got in here? Wait on, let's just finish this first of all. Binding mode. We're going to default value. Set a default value of 0, maybe. Okay, so now we need to have our property itself. So we'll have an image offset Y. And then we'll have a getter and a setter. Let's steal some of your code here. Beautiful. And that's going to be our image offset property. And that's going to set that property there. Beautiful. And we should use a name of here, shouldn't we? That would make it a bit more compiler safe. And it's not, it is a type of int. You're going to be happy? Beautiful. All right, and we'll add one in for an image offset X property as well. Beautiful. Awesome. Do I need, I feel I need to have, I need to be able to respond to this, right? And then when I respond to it, I've got to move that, that element. So let's do this. Let's override on property changed. So when the value changes, let's go and do something like if our property name is our image offset Y property dot property name, then what we want to do is we want to get our image. Let's have a look at what our image is called. It's called nothing at the moment, so let's call this like our product image. So we'll say our product image dot offset, translation Y equals our value. And we'll do the same thing for our X value as well. Copy paste. You know my favorite thing, copy and paste.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
And I'm also, okay, so let's see if this works. I don't know if this is going to work. So what I could do is I could then say, I should now have that property available on my control. Yeah, image offset X. And then I want to bind this as well. And I can actually use the same binding because this converter that I have is actually a nice simple converter, which just says, based on a Boolean, return a string. Sam says image offset X is not written correctly. Can I not type? Image offset X. Image offset. Image offset. Did I do a typo? Image offset X, image offset Y. I'm not seeing it. Maybe you were just thinking of image offsets. Yeah, no worries. I type things wrong all the time. Okay, so this converter just basically says has a value for true, has a value for false, and then just returns true or false, which means that up here in my converter, I can just sort of go and give it some values. So we'll have the feature offset X and feature offset Y. You know, I'm going to just copy this. Copy this. And I'll say image offset X is featured. And this will not be our featured height converter. This will be our featured offset X converter. And then we'll have an offset Y converter. Yeah, the bool to string converter is actually pretty useful, right? I'm not sure on the efficiency of it, to tell you the truth, because like, let's say our image offset X here, it's actually an int, right? But one of the cool things about XAML is it's a bit questionable in terms of type safety. So if I just return a string out of here, it's going to convert it to an int anyway. I don't know if that's a really bad thing to do. Let's give that a build, see if it runs. So what's everyone up to for the holiday period? Anyone going away? I'm going to be moving house, but some of you are probably doing some interesting stuff. Let's see if that works. So my assumption then would be that if I come here, I should be able to move this around by just changing this converter. So if I was to say, when it's not featured, offset is 40. Let's see if I just make that 0. Yeah, cool. Lewis, lots of family coming over. Oh, that's nice. Probably. I don't know. It depends on how well you get on with your family. Travidale, short travel for lots of turkey. Loving the turkey. Oh, and Marianne DVD. Sorry if I said that wrong. Instead of holidays, we had an internet blackout in Iran. Oh man, that's terrible. Hopefully your internet blackout is over soon. And Sam, you're staying with my family in my house. Yeah, I'm going to be like, so I got this like kitchen that I'm working on, and it's going to be remodeled. So I'm going to have all these workmen doing structural engineering, and so I'm going to try and keep my twin boys who are 6 from like playing Bob the Builder. Hey Frodozy, been trying to catch a stream for ages. Damn the UK time zone. Yeah, it mustn't be very early in the UK. It must be really early. I don't know. Let's see if Cortana can help us. Hey Cortana. What time is it in the UK?
It's 11:35 p.m. in United Kingdom.
There you go, 11:35. So thanks for staying up late. Midnight in Slovenia. Man, the world's well, it's round, isn't it? a sphere. Okay, what was I doing here? So offset Y. Okay, so I said if it's not featured, the offset is 0. So it basically puts it there. So if I now say the offset is say 40, that should, for non-featured items, move it down, which is exactly what it's done. That's awesome. And actually these values don't look too bad. So if I put that as 0 or 0, 0, there we are. So now when it's not featured, it's in the middle. So actually that's kind of nice. Hey, DB I'm just murdering that name, but hi to Brazil. 836. I think we want the same setting here. Beautiful. Okay, so what happens now if I expand one of these? I think it should basically sort of go up near the top now. I think Hot Reload's having some troubles. Let me... 12:37 or midnight over in the Czech Republic. It's the best time to do code. All right, so cool. That's going to kind of the right spot. Same in Poland. Hi, Nazak. Enzak. Okay, so clearly we want to New York. 6:30. Okay, so that's kind of seems a little bit right. Okay, so clearly what we need to do is we need to fix up a few things here. We need to make it so that when we select this item, we don't want it to just like translate to the middle straight away. So there's that. Apart from that, it's kind of looking okay. Okay, let's adjust some values in here. 10:38 where you are, Lachlan. That's because you live in the same city as me. 3:08 in Iran. Hey, it's David Wenger. Wenger? I don't know how to pronounce your last name. So David, you were doing some streams creating train tracks, maybe? I think I saw that you were streaming the other day. Yeah, fantastic. We do have to catch up for a beer, maybe. Hey, and we got a follow there. Struggling with drawing curves. Oh man. I actually think I saw a tweet from you earlier this morning saying you were watching back your VOD and you realized all these mistakes you made. And I'm the same. I do a bit of scare sharp stuff, and I realized that I should have paid attention in maths. So Sam has a question. Have I ever tested animation when battery optimization's enabled? I haven't. It's actually a really good call because I think in Android at least, right? Probably in iOS as well, you can actually turn off animations in the system, I believe. So I don't know if anyone else has done that. I haven't. But you know what? It's a really good question because I'm gonna put some comments in here as well, and I've been really bad. You know, I'm been really bad at getting back into streaming. So look, what I'm going to do here, to do. Let's add a to do. Investigate animations with. I suppose the battery optimization. Was that the question? Is that a problem you're having, Sam? Or is it just a general query? Oh, okay. And is the problem that animations don't happen? All right. What are we doing? Okay, cool. So, we're basically setting some opacity here. We're setting some initial states. Hey, Travidale. Got to run. Have fun. Holiday fun has begun. Good luck with the house. Catch you on the next stream. Thanks, Travidale. Take care. See you on another stream and have a great holiday. Man, I wish I was on holidays already. That'd be awesome. So let's start off by saying, for example, let's get a product image. Let's see if we can fix it positioning that. So we'll say our product image dot translation X. We're going to set that to our image offset X, and our product image translation Y equals image offset Y, and we'll animate that through to 0. Perhaps. So down here, we calculate our rect. We then fade out our elements in here. Let's do this. Let's say our product image, which is our little bit of Icelandic moss that we have here. We want to translate that to 0. So what I'm thinking is it needs to kind of go into the middle, right? So that's why the X is 0. At its Y point, so it's going to basically just move across. So it's going to move to... Do we need to do this? Ultimately, what we want to do, let's have a look at the video here. Let's see what we're trying to do. When we select an image, it gets to there. It scales a little bit, so we need to scale it up and then position it in the right place. Okay. Let me just stop this. If only there was a way, R2AU, that I could get hot reloading of my code to happen. So ultimately what I want is once we go to the middle, let's set our product image and we'll scale this to a value of like, I don't know, 1.1. And we have our animation speed times by 2. We don't have an await. We don't care about awaiting this because we want it to happen at the same time. So I'll put a discard in, which is cool. And let's also translate the position of it as well. And I think we want to start doing this right here at the beginning. So we'll say product image dot translate to X of 0. Yep, that's good. A Y of we're going to move it to the middle. We're going to set it translation Y. And we'll have our animation speed. Maybe, I don't know, we'll have to play around with the animation speeds of this, but let's just set it to the same value as well. And then we'll translate it down on the page. So we go to 0. We'll go to a set number, however far we want it down. So we'll do it like that. Animation speed times 2. Two. Beautiful. Let's add a discard for these. Let's also change this animation speed to be a little bit slower, so we can see what's going on. And then see what kind of disaster we've made here. Well, that didn't work. That was interesting, but I think it was a fail.
And you fail.
Yep, that's not right, is it? Kind of positions it in the right place at the end. Let's set the scale of the product image here because I feel that that's not resetting. What else is going on here? Why is that? I feel like it's not getting the right value here. Hang on a second. I think that when this launches, it's not setting the X and Y values. So when we create our fake cell, I think we might have to set its translation X and translation Y. Let's try that. Fake product cell. So we'll get the element, we'll get the translation from the element. And the element is a view. It's actually not a view. It could well be a product display. Do. Beautiful. Uh-oh. Just dropped a whole bunch of frames then for some reason. I think we're back. Okay, stream fail. Beautiful. Okay, so that's not doing what we're after. Oh. That's actually not what we want to do. We don't want to set the translation of the whole cell. That doesn't make sense to us. We actually want to set the image offset. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life?
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim, Phil Potson. Oh, how amazing you'll be.
Let's try that. That will make a bit more sense, I reckon. Okay. It's kind of doing about the right thing here. Moving into the middle. Simorph. Twitch automatically set quality at 160p. Yeah, so it turns out I got a whole bunch of drop frames here for a period of time, but it should be better now. So Simorph, if you, I don't know, if you refresh, maybe it'll fix it. Or maybe Twitch was just looking at the quality of my code and decided it only needed 160p. That's always possible. I'm going to put this animation speed back to where it should be. Probably around about 500 or so. Yeah, Twitch. Exactly. Twitch was helping me out. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Okay, that's all right. That's all right. It's serviceable. It's kind of, it's not quite as smooth as I'd like. But it is kind of putting it in the place that it needs. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're talking about this section here where it comes in, moves up into the right place. It kind of comes in centers there. All right. Let's work with that for a while. We can always change it a little bit later on because I think it's kind of doing what it needs to do. I wish I had better images for Icelandic moss. Let's see if it works for one of these down here. Yeah, I think I need to work on this a little bit more. All right, let's go with that. Why don't we look at this pop-up that happens here? So let's do this in slow mo. So we're probably going to have to do some work in Adobe XD here in a second. So it comes in. These elements here appear. And then we have something slide in from the bottom. And you know what's interesting about this? What's interesting about this is that as this bottom bit that slides in, this white bit that's coming up the bottom, from the bottom here, it's actually not the container for this text here. So this text here, and in fact this here, are not really associated with this section. So one thing we could do here, we could basically have a so these bits here, yeah, I'm assuming, again, this is the hard thing about designers, right? Yeah, those three circles, I reckon that's for an image view, like a carousel, so you can swipe it left and right. That's what I think it's for. And this is where it kind of gets frustrating doing things with from Dribbble, because designers do whatever the hell they want to do. You know what I mean? Like, basically does that. So Rocklane says an RG pop up from the bottom. Yeah, I suppose it depends on how we want to do this. So one way I'm thinking that actually, you know, like this element, these elements here, and even this button are kind of, hey, that looks like a robot. This button, so all of this stuff I feel is like an overlay over top, and then the white bit is just sort of coming in from the bottom. Yeah. These buttons here, we could certainly do that, but it would be a very custom piece, and that's where it gets crazy working with designers. Yeah. So Simov, you think your external designer is crazy? Yeah, for sure. All right, so I'm just trying to think about how we might do this. Well, you know, the first thing I might do is I might actually sort of pull some of this into Adobe XD and create some images from this that we can work with. All right, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to snag this desktop here like this, and we go into Adobe XD. So these designs are in there as well. Oh, actually, I've already got it. There, how beautiful. So we've got a few elements inside of here. We've got like this back arrow. We've got our heart. We're going to add dots. Let's ignore the dots for the moment. And, you know, the other problem with designers, not the problem with designers, but the challenge with working with designers is they never use any of the standard elements. Hey, Jessipas, welcome. In fact, in this case, they haven't even used a 45-degree angle. Look at that. Let's do this. Let's give it some roundy corners. Let's give it a little bit bigger stroke fill. Let me move this over so you can see what I'm changing here. Make that a 2. No, it's too big. 1.5. Beautiful. Hi, Bill Ashton. Welcome. All right, so we'll go with that one. We'll call this one call that back arrow. We'll export that in a second. Then we need a love heart. I wonder if a font will do us here. Not really. Maybe. I don't really want to draw it. I'm just thinking does anyone ever use Metro Studio? So this is a free thing from Sync Fusion, which has loads and loads and loads of different things. And I'm just thinking they probably already have a heart in here. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, so this is actually really, really cool. So this is a free tool. I'll see if I can find a link for you. Hang on. what's it called? Metro Studio. So I really like this this tool. So you've got to create an account, but it's a free tool, right? So let me throw the link out for people who haven't used it. And I quite like it because you can do things like, let's say you want a heart here. You can create projects and you can set up all your things for it, but you can come in here and you can, set background colors. You can add circles to it. You can, rotate things around. You can change padding. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with it. And then you can like save them out as like Metro files, or you can export them as well, or you can even come and have a look at the code, and you can get XAML, but that's probably for UWP. It's pretty out of control. You can get like the SVG. Yeah, it's a really, really nice little tool. It's kind of, I think it was designed, I used to use it a lot when I was doing Windows 8 development. And so it used to be really nice in Windows RT. You could, add it into your app bar and things like that. Anyway, is there a reset button? But what I like about it is there's like a zillion different things in here as well, and I think it also works for fonts also. So I think you can bring in a font and select things from here. Anyway, let's see if we can actually use it. So I'm thinking if I come in here and I go, yep, cool. Oh, okay. Where's my reset button? Great, now I've changed it. Well, that's... under color. Ah! Thanks. Thanks, Lewis. I wasn't even looking. There we go. Reset. All right. The scale of it's not going to matter, right? So I don't know. Let's see what happens if I go and export this. Look at my desktop. My desktop is a total mess. There's all kinds of crap in here. Probably. SVG. Let's have a look. Let's see if we come back in here. Look, I could probably just draw this faster to show you the truth. Where is it? Where did you go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's not give it a border. Cheeky. Let's get that path. Bring that out here. Get rid of that. That was like a really, really slow way to draw a heart. But I'm hoping now what I can do is I can customize this a little bit more. Oh no. It's an SVG that has all of these points in it. Yeah, crap. It's going to look terrible. Hi, Tim. I was trying to, Tim, just let you know what I'm trying to do here. I was going to be clever, and I was going to like get this this heart shape and then bring it in here. But as it turns out, it's probably not a good option. Let's see. Let's play Adobe XD for a bit. Let's see what would happen if I do this. Whoop. 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 You probably just create this just as quick. Is it very This is why developers shouldn't do design work, maybe. Wow, this is like the most inefficient use of... Close enough. That'll do, donkey. This one's driving me crazy. All right. Let's bring this one down a little bit. It's pretty close. This is the kind of thing that's going to drive me insane, right? That'll do. That'll do. Whatever. We'll make this 1.5. There's their heart with their weird little ankle. Okay, we've got our heart icon. What else have we got in here that we need to play around with? I've got that locked. Let's unlock that, put it back there. Here's our heart icon. We'll get rid of that one. All right. Let's not worry about those right at the moment. Let's just get these two elements. Where's my back arrow gone? Look at that heart. It looks so sad. And let's export selected items as PNGs. Not in this folder. This is another project. Another Twitch project I'm working on. So let's export this to Android as a start. In our resources, we'll say, hey, we want to export Android resources. So, marketing. We can make our app feel more personal by hand making all our icons. Yeah. I feel it's like that sometimes. All right, let's just get moving. Let's write some code. All right, back to our project. Let's see if we can bring those resources in. Got our hired icon. We've got our back arrow. They're all of our... I may change these for SVGs later on. as it turns out. Android. Oh, crap. I didn't know my project stopped. So let's include that in our project. Cool. All right, now let's see if we can design this this screen here. So, okay, so some advice here, people. So, Bill, what's my favorite Android phone at this time for development testing? Mine is, I still use a Pixel, like an original Pixel 1, I suppose. That's what I use. I also have a Samsung device as well, because I find that Samsungs are often very different to other ones. So my like daily phone at the moment is an iPhone, but I reckon probably about every 3 years, I swap entirely from being an iOS user to being an Android user. So I sort of get the latest versions, and then eventually they become my development mobiles. All right, cool. So this is kind of what I'm thinking here. Let's see what people's opinion is. So at the moment, this and the purple bit are one of those product cells that is basically expanded out. Bill, you've got Black Friday deals. Yeah, we kind of don't really get Black Friday in Australia. We sort of do, but things are all just too expensive still. What I'm thinking is because like this content here and this content here actually have nothing to do with this white square or this white thing that's actually coming up the page here. My little pointing on. I'm kind of thinking that they should just be a separate layer altogether that just fade in. And the same with this here. You see the heart and that it doesn't, none of that animates with the rest of it. It just fades in over the top. So I'm thinking I might just create another control which goes over top of the whole thing. And then we can think about extending it a little bit later on. Unless anyone else has got another suggestion. Let's start with this. So I'm going to create a content view. I'm going to call this my product display popover. Yep, cool. And in my product display popover, let's think about how we might structure this. So if I come and have a look at this here, you can have expandable, what was that? We can have an expandable pancake view and stack layouts inside of it. So you're saying stack layouts down here. Yeah, we could do that. I think though I think the pancake view, right? Like this white section here is a whole different element. Yeah. So Rocklane says a grid. I'm inclined to go for a grid as well. So the grid might look like this. So if we had a grid here, you might have a row here. You might have I would like for example, that's going to be a grid. That can be a stack layout. I might go for, to tell you the truth, I'd probably go for a grid with 1, 2, 3, 4 elements in it. I suppose we can try it. So that'd be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I find with stack layouts it's very hard to get things aligned the way I want. Anyway, let's try this. So we'll start with a grid. We can always change it later on. So we'll say it has some row definitions. So this will be the top one. Maybe we'll just make it 100 to start with. Can't spell height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, this will be a star because this will be the middle. This is the one that has a space in it. And then, actually, you know what? I think maybe to make this a little bit easier to refactor later on, maybe this should be a grid here as well. And then there should be an encapsulating grid with just 3 rows. Is that wasteful? Because I'm thinking if this doesn't work out, we can at least sort of just reuse this bit. Whereas if it's all in one grid, it'll be a problem. So look, I think I'll do that. I think I'll say a grid with 3 with an auto down the bottom. Because I hate it when there's loads and loads of
Today we're gonna code lots.
PT Dave,
Mr. Kim, Phil, Potts,
you're a legend.
how
Subscribed.
amazing you'll be.
Fantastic. We really appreciate it. Thank you, PT Dave. It's time to jingle. I jingled. So Rocklane says, I suggest an absolute layout with a white popover grid. Why do we need an absolute layout? Let's just try this. Let's design it, and then we'll try a few different approaches perhaps. Okay, so we'll start off with a grid here. Beautiful. And just to get this sort of rocking, I'm using an absolute layout here. The bottom half is a popover. Yeah, I'm thinking of just doing that with a translation, to tell you the truth. Let's have a look. What do we call it? Product display popover. Now this is all in an absolute layout. So I'll say an absolute layout dot layout bounds. We want it to occupy the full screen. So 0, 0, 100% width, 100% height. I hate absolute layouts. That's probably why I'm reticent to do it. What's the goal? Yeah, okay, what's the goal? That's a super question. What's the goal, PT Dave? Best question of the day. Here's the goal. Okay, so we have our application. The user goes ahead, they select on one of these items, it expands out to occupy the full screen, right? Which we've pretty much got working at the moment. And then what happens, right? So you notice that like the back arrows and stuff like that appear when it's expanded out. Probably doesn't really matter, but let's try and do what the designer had in mind. And then this bottom section comes in. Now, the interesting bit about this is you might notice that those elements that are appearing like the text here, this button, they're actually not animating up with this. Right? They're actually in a fixed place. They just sort of animate at the same time. So the theory here then is that what we could do is we basically just have a big old overlay which has this and this in place, and then we'll animate in a white square. Simorp, thanks so much for joining in. Need to go and sleep? Yeah, go and have a great sleep, and have a great holiday if you're having a holiday. So what I'm thinking is if we put this in here, it's a lot of absolute loud elements. Yeah, that's what I think as well. That's why I'm tempted to go for a grid. Oh, you're going to work. Okay, even better. Go earn some money. Okay, so I've got this, I have this product display popover. That should be appearing over top of everything at the moment. Yeah, bye Simop. Yeah, the white background doesn't appear to be anything, so a grid should work. Yeah, I think so too. Let's wait for this thing to build. All right. So I think now, I'm just put this up over here. In our product display popover now, I think if I was to like put a box view, say a yellow box view in grid row 0. Yeah, there we are. So now we can play around with it, sort of positioning things as they should be. Because, yeah, because I basically got this, you know, if I put a few of these in, green and blue. I should use debug rainbow, shouldn't I? Grid.row equals 1. Grid.row equals 2. There we are. That's our screen. Cool. The grids still have row spacing. So I'm going to do my favorite thing ever, which is to come into my app XAML and set an implicit style. For a grid and set, what is it, row spacing equal to 0. And that's going to basically change those for everything. Cool. I just need to restart it. I really think that should be the default value, but anyway, that's just me. Cool. All right, so there we are. We know we've got that in place now. So now what I should be able to do is I should be able to do something. In fact, let me quickly do this. Let me say, let's just put a fake background in for a moment. There we are. Cool. And I'm thinking for the top here, what we could do is we could say, let's put in an image button source equals, what did we call it? It was something like back arrow. Horizontal options of start. Okay, maybe it's not called back arrow. Yes, it is called back arrow. Oh, the box. That's why the box view's over top of it. There we go. I'm going to give this a width and a height request. And we had 48 for the other buttons. I think my Visual Studio's in a little bit of pain. It's gone milky. Awesome. All right, the question. PT Dave, do you have any tricks for building the proper strings for adding custom fonts to an app XAML resource? Let's just wait and see what Visual Studio does here. I have two approaches that I use. One of them is I've got mfractor. So mfractor, oh, there we are. That looks like it worked. So mfractor will allow me to basically do this. I can come up here and I can say extensions mfractor import a font, and then go and choose a font, and it'll create these strings for me. So that's one way. Another way that I've sort of played with, and I don't think I have it installed at the moment in Adobe XD. I was creating a plugin. Yeah, no, I don't have it in here at the moment. I was working on a plugin on GitHub, which I actually just need to do a tiny little bit of work on. XD to XF maybe. So this is a plugin that I was writing to go from Adobe XD to Xamarin.Forms. And so when you set up your colors and things like that, it'll do that, but also it'll set up fonts in there as well. So you can, if you use Adobe XD, you can use that. mfractor is probably the preferred option for sure. In reality, if I'm totally honest with you, PT Dave, what I do is I've just got like a gist. Let's not start that argument. A gist where I basically just go and have this bit of code. Lachlan, you say mfractor's in public preview. I didn't realize that. In that case, use mfractor. But otherwise, I just grab myself something like this. The hardest thing I feel for getting the strings right, like this text here, like what the actual name of the font is. There was a blog post by Gerald. So let's go Gerald, Xamarin.Forms, font, iOS. Just going to type in and just keep typing in things until I get it right. Because the font name and the family name aren't always the same thing. And there's this really cool little bit of code that Gerald had here, which basically just goes and enumerates the fonts and the font families, and then dumps them out into the debug log. And then you just go and you find the right font name. So I guess, so I guess the short answer there, Bill, is not really. I've got a few different techniques, but mostly it's copy paste.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
All right, cool. Let's have a look at what this is doing. Why is this so big? I think this is a limitation of the image button. Does anyone know? Hey, got to go. Take care, everyone. Good to see you, Lewis. Take care. If I don't see you before Christmas, have a great Christmas. So yeah, PT Day, I've used that in iOS. I hate trying to figure out the font names. Yeah, me too. But somewhere in ReSharper, don't say ReSharper, Mfractor, they've actually worked that out. So when you do Mfractor, it does come out with the right font names. Does anyone know if there's a way for an image button to actually keep the image size as it should be? See, like, for example, what's happening here, if I go the background color of green and I have a padding of 0, it always expands it out to be the full size. And that's not actually what I want. Well, actually, maybe it is what I want. Maybe what I really want is to set this the right size. But actually, I want the target to be bigger. Anyway, look, I'm gonna do this. Oops. All right, cool. So I'll put that there. Let's grab another image button. And this one we'll put at the end. And this one will be our heart icon. There we go. And just to remind myself, I'm pretty sure we had some buttons in this page. In fact, you know what? I should. Oh, I did. I created a button style. Good for me. Yay for me. Wow, that's not what I wanted. What does that style look like? background color. Corner radius 14, beautiful. What is that button background color? Interesting. Is it in our design here? Okay. I think that is just going to be an opacity, isn't it? Let's try this. Okay, I think that's going to do it for us. Cool. Yeah, so PT Dave, it's actually really, really cool. I've a lot of people use it on the Mac. Lachlan, who's in the chat, maybe still, he uses it extensively on the Mac, but it's coming across to Windows. But you know, I always work in Windows, which is why I don't use it as much as I should. But now that it's coming to Windows, yeah, I'm going to use it a whole bunch more. And yeah, I think it's worth it. Particularly if you do MVVM. If you do MVVM with Xamarin.Forms, I think it's worth it. All right, cool. So, wow, that took a long time to get just that bit done, didn't it? So now what we want is we want this bottom section here. So for the bottom section, I think a grid. And we'll go 1. I don't know, I mean, feels like a lot of rows here, but anyway, let's do it. That can be a stack layout. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set these to auto to start with, even though auto is the least efficient row layout. PT Dave, yeah, so there was also this here as well. You're probably right. I think though that one, I'm wondering whether that is like an additional row in this like container, you know, so we have a container one which has basically that and that and that. Maybe it's a row in this one. I kind of want to keep all of this content together. But you're absolutely right. We have no place to put this at the moment. Let me see if I can get this this bottom bit done first. So, God, I can't even remember what fonts and things that we've been using. So, I'm going to stick a label in here, and the style of it is. What are my IntelliSense? is going to be the same style as okay, these styles are in my main page. They're not in my app XAML. Actually, they're in two places. Why are they in two places? That doesn't make sense. Give me a label. I don't even know what the binding is for the name of one of these things. Let's have a look. It's really hard to come back to things. So it should be the name. Let's give that a run, see what we have. We have a whole bunch of nothing. Hello? Yeah, it's there. Oh, of course. The reason why is because we haven't got the binding sorted out, because we don't have the binded for the selected image, because we're not doing that part yet. Okay. Well, let's do this. I don't know if anyone else does this. Sometimes when I'm doing design, I just go ahead and basically put it in the bottom, put in some hard-coded values to get things right, and then I'll come back and I'll do the MVVM parts of it a little bit later on. And I know that makes me a bad person, but that's just the way it is. Okay, so we're gonna have lavender. We got some buttons here. So I think in grid row, in this grid, we're gonna have another grid. And this grid, so what we're trying to do here is, so we basically got that row. This row here, I think, is going to be a grid. I think we could probably do a grid 2 columns. And these ones could be buttons. Could do a horizontal stack layout, but then the problem would be that these buttons are going to change distance every time that changes. So I'm inclined to put this in a grid with 3 rows, just to pass, or an absolute layout. I don't know about an absolute layout. Like, I feel that there'd be a lot of things to put in there, a lot of elements to size. Because remember, we've also got to make this responsive later on as well. Because I'm thinking that this would be a prime candidate to put into a control, like basically a stepper control. Yeah. Okay, so you mean for row 2. Yeah, I'm thinking a stepper control that we just sort of like smack in the middle here. But for the moment, let's just do this. Let's just say a grid with columns. What am I doing? Ah, save me. So this would eventually become our, in here, we would have our stepper control. Which again is going to be something like, it's going to be in a grid. So this, yeah. So we're kind of getting pretty deep in grids here, aren't we? Just for the moment. So do deep grids make pages slow? Kind of, mostly. So the reason I say that is, look, if you've got a, like kind of what we have, the page layout we have at the moment sort of looks like this, right? We've got this grid. And then we've got, we've got a grid here. And then we've got another grid in here. And then we've got another grid in here. And the problem is, in order, when you have values like stars or autos, it has to calculate all the children out. So normally when you start nesting things, it impacts performance. It just kind of depends on, like in this case here, we're not using this in, say, a list view or a collection view. So it's probably not really a big problem, I don't think. But my basic rule is if I'm sort of, if I'm 3 or 4 deep in nesting, I'll try and work out a different way of doing it. That's my kind of base rule. Style this bad boy. Center it. Okay, let's also do this. Let's go and add a. Yeah, that's exactly right, Rocklane. But without the star and the autos, it wouldn't make sense for all sizes. That's right. It wouldn't resize very nicely. And sometimes that's when you go absolute layouts, or just try and rationalize the design a bit more. So yeah, you know, normally I find just about every grid that I have is going to have at least one star or one auto. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to say a box view. Does this have a corner radius? It does. What I'm going to do, just for the moment, is I'm just going to put myself in a dummy. Zoiks. Why didn't that work? Vertical options end. Where's that going? Center, height request. Row 3. Well, actually, what I was going to do is just put this behind everything. You know what I mean? Like, so I've got this grid here, which is occupying the full page, right? So let's have a look. Oh, yeah, okay. You might be right here. You are right. What am I doing with my life? Now, because that's later, it's overlapping everything else, right? Let's see if we can do a corner radius here. Can we do corner radiuses of like that? Yeah, cool. So this has to go further up the page. In fact, it wants to go right up about there. Beautiful. Wowzers. All right, cool. We probably want some margin in here. Bring that in. All right. God, this is taking ages. Got our steppers there, so that's going to have to be we use that. So if we use that style, let's forget that for the moment. Just trying to think. Just having a look at this design here. Instead of auto, we could assign particular heights here. That might work. This is grid row 1. Maybe we actually do want to have a row spacing here. Maybe. Maybe. Grab that style there. Beautiful. Make that horizontal as well. This is our quantity and cost row. So basically that row there. Not able to see the emulator. Oh, sorry about that. I'll move it over the way. So we just, there we go. We're just putting that in there. So with these ones here, you know, I think it's a grid as well. I think it's a grid. There's a lot going on this page, isn't there? So that's left aligned. We have an icon and then the text. Flex layout. I'm not sure if flex layout would do it. Flex layout would be alright for wrapping things, but it doesn't really wrap. I reckon if we just let's just try this. Let's just say grid. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna grid all the things. After the space between. Grid, column, and stack. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Exactly. So grid row 2. So it's going to be a little bit nastier than that, I think, actually. Let's have a look. Let's say, so we want this to be 3 wide. So let's just say grid dot. Whoops. And then, yeah, so then we would have in, so here we'd have a stack layout where our orientation is vertical. We would have a label, say humidity, and then, so I'll style this in a second. So this is 50-75%. Right, so just to put this in context, yep. So we have this here, which is here, and then we do the same thing for here and here. Obviously some font styling. I think, as nasty as it seems, I think, so I got 2 options. Yeah, so just absolutely could extract the stack ladder into another control. Yep. And then have a couple of properties on it, for sure. What I'm wondering right now, though, is for this here, There's two ways you could do this. One way, well, actually, there's lots of ways you could do it, but one way, and the way that I'd be tempted to do it, is to have a horizontal stack layout. So you'd have an image, and then you'd have a label. Alternatively, you could kind of cheat, and you could actually just put these in the same location, and you could say, yeah, font icon. Maybe. I'm just not convinced I'm going to get a font that's going to do all of this for me. Fixed size of spacing. Well, the other way you could do it is you could do this. You could actually have your image here, and then you could have your label, which is actually here as well. Like, you know, over, like, yeah, wait on, let me. So your label actually sits here, and then you do a translate Y to bring it out to there. Make your own font. You're crazy. You can set the text using C# and put text and icon together. Text and icon together. I should do a label with formatted text, huh? So a formatted string where the first thing is an icon font and the second thing is a label. All right. You know what I'm going to do? What's the time? 12 o'clock. If you're using Font Awesome, you can write the text, the code for the icon. Yeah, so if you're using Font Awesome, agreed, you could have a formatted section, right? A span, that's right. Right. And so then you have, so what does it look like? Wait on, it's something like this, right? Let's look it up. HTML. We can make it HTML. There we are. Formatted string and a span. Oops. Just put that in there for the moment. It's got to be formatted text. God, what a oh, thanks, PT Dave. That's it. That's about right. Look at that. PT Dave is just like going, you know what? I'm sick of watching you do this. All right. Ooh. Does a span have a font family? Same. Oh, it's just can't find the resource. Cool. Okay. So let's just see that this would actually work. Yep. So we're there. Can we set the... Is there a padding here? Or a margin? Spacing? Character spacing. So what I'm looking at here is, can I make that one a little bit more space in between there? A little bit more control over it. You're just saying give it a space. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Why not? Damn you. It's definitely going to have to be a control, isn't it? Can we do that? How do we do it? Do we have to do like a yeah, something? No. It's not like that, is it? Nah. Can we just do this? Text equals. There we are. That'll do it. Wow. That's the longest time it's ever taken anyone to do a space. All right. All right. Yeah. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go and put a font awesome icon in. This is never easy. How do we do font icons these days, kids? Oh, PT Dave, you've got a NuGet. I love using people's NuGets. What do you got? What do you got? Throw us a link. Looks font image source. Isn't there an easier way of doing it these days? So I won't need the initialization code. So these are some static resources you've got inside of your you got all the glyphs in a constant file, yep. Still need to, of course, bring in the font, right? Or do you have the font in there? Let's have a look. Let's see what's in here. Yeah. Okay, so they're all your or your constants. I don't even know if Fontorsm has these things. Let's have a look. Start for free. Give it to me for free. Oh, really? Look in the ah, beautiful. Well, I still need this. So I'm assuming under here there'll be assets. Fab far fast. All right, let's give this a go. So what do we want? We want I'm just having a look at the design here. Where's their design? All right, Dave. Let's try this out just for giggles, shall we? I'm assuming I'm going to have to add this to all of my solutions. I only need the PCL. Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Cool. All right, so now I'm going to have to go and get those fonts, right? So So this is from Faz. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go and just steal and just download these puppies from here. All right. And then let's try this. Let's just see what happens. We import that font. No idea where it came from, where it went to, but I'm going to assume downloads. And I would be wrong. Where did it go? Yeah, it's right there. Okay. The hell did it download it to? Alright, that'll do. So I think there's a bug at the moment where it's going to yeah, there we go. Cool. So we got Font Awesome 5. So do you have some requirements, Dave, on how they have to be named? That should be fine. Font family. So let's assume that that's okay. We should be able to do this, right? We should be able to build this. So you need access to the font helper in a namespace. Cool. Where are you, visual? So I reckon then we should be able to say let's call this Dave. So I'll get this out of the way. So we should be able to put in a namespace for Dave, right? And then we should be able to come down here. And here we should be able to... can we do this? Formatted string. Font family. Static resource. Static resource. Actually, that's not going to be that. It's going to be a style. Right then. Ah, it's not going to be a style. Yeah, you're right. It's a font family. So you're saying, so your static reference should be, so for the text, static Dave Faz tint. Let's see what this does. And close that off. OMG.
Victory.
There we are. Look at that. That's why I hate fonts. But they actually work quite well, Dave. All right, well, let's do this then. So I should be able to IntelliSense any others. Ah, well, let's look. I'm gonna have to head off shortly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna quickly style this, and then we'll IntelliSense those other icons if we can find them. What are we doing? So this is gonna be bold. That needs to be smaller. So this is gonna have to have like a. Can we do a font size in here? I'm sure we can. So I'm just having a look at this over here, by the way. Font size, then this one here is going to have a style. Oh, this doesn't have a style property, does it? It does. Oh God. For the moment, let's just put this in. So it does have a style. Rocklane just says no. just no. No, I think it works. I think it works because look, we stuck that style on a span. It does work. It's just our font size is way too big. And there's also the fact that I'm actually just doing it on the wrong place as well. Now the question is, that's one problem. There's no way. Is there a way? So what I'm looking at here, hang on a second. Let me just add this style in down here. Let me fix this, and then we'll fine tune it, and we'll see what issues we have. All right. So the actual element itself should look like this. It's kind of just like this light color. It's nice and small, and then we got a nice bold one here. Okay, so this one here doesn't actually want to have that style at all. I just wonder. Now, can I? Oh, here's the question. Yeah, of course I can. There's so much badness going on here right now. Sometimes I kind of like just like hacking code like this. My windows went away. Yeah. Okay, so clearly that needs to be bold, it needs to be there. But look, yeah, it kind of works. I'd say it kind of works. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in. Yeah, it does need a color picker built in. I'm sure somebody has an add-in that'll allow you to do that. Okay. I'm just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna just copy this 3 times because I'm gonna have to jump off here in a second. I've got to go and do some actual work. Heaven forbid. And yeah, actual work. Yeah, real live work. And let's just do this. Grid row 1. Yeah, I know it's disgusting. But they pay me for it, you know. Well, you just want to be here so that you feel better about your own code. That's not grid row, it's grid column. My goodness. All right. So we got 3 things here. What are they actually supposed to be? They're supposed to be, I'll bring this over here. So it's supposed to be, I hate streaming on Twitch for the screen real estate issues. So there's our first one. The second one is going to be, it's going to be light. Let's see how well we can do this. Ooh. Hey, not bad. Not bad. Hey, did I miss some? You do pay me. You just paid me. So I'm going to go back to work. Thank you, Lachlan. And we've got one more down the bottom here, which is a temperature. Let's see. That's not bad. Temperature high. What's temperature low look like? Looks about the same. Thermometer. No. Looks a bit too medical. Look, that's not bad. That's not bad. Look, it depends on how true we want to be to the design. Like, I don't know. The reason I do these things just to has less fill. The reason I do these things is just to have a bit of fun. So less fill. It's a little bit thinner. Is there something we can do here? So these ones here, Faz. So they're different fonts, aren't they? In the font world. Like as in Font Awesome. These are solid style. But like we could sort of go the light editions, right? Oh, these are the pro ones. That's a foul. So far is regular, is it? Yeah, I don't have the pro ones. That's right. We can work with that. Regular and solid are free. Or maybe I should just get the regular ones because it's not that hard to do. Because PT Dave's already downloaded them for me in his repo. No. I'm assuming these are the same, right? Import a font. Definitely gonna have to restart this. Zoiks. Regular, yeah, that's good. That worked. All right. Let's see what happens. Let's change them. So I'm assuming I can just go far, right? Oh, no, of course. That's not really going to work because it's not going to be solid. It's going to be a different font name, right? Did that work? I think they just look the same, actually. Let's have a look. Let's zoom this puppy in. God, the zooming on this thing sucks. Come on, you can zoom in for me. No. Android emulators, you're the worst. All right, let's see if it changes. So what are we doing? We're doing the temperature here. Let's see if it does change. So regular, and we put it to far. Yeah, I think they're basically the same. So I'll check it. It's updating. It's not. Sequence contains no matching elements. Okay. So just getting it. I think they're just the same. All right. Yeah, it does. It does exist. Temperature high is there. Oh, wait on. What am I looking at? It's the Pro Edition. What? Just go free. Temperature high, which is that one. Yeah, it's just a really fat font, I think. Oops. Maybe thermometer quarter is nicer. So does that should tell us that. Yeah, so does that tell me that it doesn't exist in the regular, right? It's only in the solid edition. Yep, cool. It was fun anyway. Just go use thermometer empty. Oh. That's in Faz. Ooh. Oh, and then this needs to be, because it's in solid. Bam! There we go. Fonts. That's funny. All right. Anyway, we didn't get bam.
It's R2, so you can't argue with it.
All right. Well, listen, I think I'm going to have to sign off. Y'all. It's been fun. We'll get back to this and we'll actually split this out and do it. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to do an impromptu stream today. But thanks for thanks everyone for joining us. Have a great holiday, everyone. Thanks for PT Dave and Rocklane and Lachlan and Arthur, you all y'all, Jessipas, and no worries. Sorry, it's a bit random. So when will I come back? Well, actually, I won't bring up my calendar. I should be back next Friday, actually. So next Friday I'll come back and we'll fix this mess that we created. Yeah. So I should be pretty good for Fridays, I reckon, going forward. Maybe not over, the exact Christmas period, but yeah, no, that should be cool. Next Friday, and let's get a lot more done. Awesome. I'm just wondering if there's anyone on for streaming purposes. Let's sorry for raiding.
I want to hurt you.
Because as you may be aware, I'm the worst raider in the world. Yeah, Twitch is all about Minecraft. I can't wait until the new, Minecraft things happen because, there's the new NVIDIA renderers. 8-bit was good fun. Who else we got? Loading Artist is pretty cool. Etc. Kid is pretty cool. See him griffing. Depends if you're a Java kind of a person. Any thoughts on who we should raid, if we should raid? Eight-bit music. What is 88-bit music? I'm not sure I know 88-bit music. All right, let's go and check that out. So let's go and say hi. Did I raid them last time? I don't think so. I don't think I did raid them. Might have been James. Well, yeah, okay. Let's... It's music, not dev. Yeah, fair enough. I don't think there's any other... See, I'm so out of practice here with Twitch streaming. It's amazing. You go away for... You go off for a few weeks and you got no idea what you're doing anymore. Not that I ever did. All right. So CM Griffing. CM Griffing's been on for a long time. I don't know. I'm interested. Like, why don't we try 88-bit music? I'm good with that. What's it called? Oh God, what a disaster I am. All right. Let's try raid and see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? Anyway, so take care, everyone. Thanks again for joining in, and I'll see you next week. All right. Please be appropriate. Bye.